If I will, now on me, get you killed. That's a metaphor for the skill. Ain't no metaphor for the real. I'm the influence of the pill. Majority of rappers on the bill. Bullshit raps I don't feel. Y'all the main course on the meal. Followers be up in the mills. Probably got a house up on the hills. Probably getting a lot of riches, a lot of whips, and I can barely manage how to pay the bills. But I still be up in the studio. And my son eating good, so nutritional. Wish I could follow suit, but I tell it to the crew. So I gotta eat these rappers, I just let them know.
Everybody know me, everybody know me. 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 Everybody know me.
Chia, what is going on, everybody? It is yours truly, the Ace, here with episode 2 of the series finale. I got my boy Jason Custodio in the building. What up, Jay?
What's good, brother? What's good?
Chilling, man. For those that don't know, my guy Jason is the nighttime overnight host for us New York Yankees. So if you're a nighttime person like myself, make sure you guys go check him out. His channel is pinned in the comment section, and you can also find it in the description. My boy be going like for hours overnight, man. You be taking that shit to like the AM, to like the early AM, bro. Don't you be getting tired?
I do be getting tired. Sometimes it's like nobody's on at that time, but hey, man, you got to do what you got to do, right?
You got to hold it down, and he holds it down for us, man. And I pop in. I go out, you know, because I work overnights too, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden I check out and I come back. I'm like, you still on? Like, my guy's out here playing video games, everything, like doing a little bit of something, a little bit of everything. But I appreciate you for coming on, man. Shout outs to everybody in the building. Savius is always first person in the house, man. This guy's got it locked down, man. Nobody beats Savius when it comes to the chat, man. He's the first person. Shout outs to one of the best mods on YouTube. My guy, Jacob Petruzzi, says Shia. Also, he drops the link to Jason's channel as well. Mark, thank you guys for popping in. A lot of people coming over from the live stream. Shia, Pito, my guy, thank you for being a member. Appreciate you. My guy, NFE from the Strike Zone. If you're not subbed up to him, make sure you guys sub up to him as well. Sean, Mad Steve, John, thank you guys for popping in. So, Jason, man, we got an interesting conversation today, man. Our New York Yankees salvaged the final game of the series, but they dropped their first, series loss after coming off a sweep of the Milwaukee Brewers. You and I were talking a little about it this morning. Like, man, if they don't win, there might be some rants out there. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of looking forward to seeing if you were gonna rant, man. How did you feel after those first 2 games, though, real quick, before we actually get into the entire breakdown?
I didn't feel good, to be honest, man. I think we may have had the first Booney blunder, possibly. I know some people might feel a certain way, but on the contrary, though, I think when we're gonna get into it, I think he should win with Luke Weaver, instead of bringing in Mark Leiter Jr. I think that was a big mistake on his part. Even though, look, that was game 4, right, of the season. But every game counts, as we learned, right? When at the end of the season, those games start to tally up, that could be the game that's the difference between home field advantage in the playoffs or not. You know what I mean? So I like to hear your take on that one.
Oof. Let's get it. So let's go ahead and get into game 1. So the game 1 recap. So Will Warren got his first start of the 2025 season, and the first 2 innings went flawlessly. Will Warren, looked pretty damn good before giving up a home run to Carroll. It happens, you know what I'm saying? A young pitcher, second time through the order is when you tend to struggle. I said it on stream. Like we've seen this with Clark Schmidt in the past, where you get through the first couple times, no problem, but guys adjust to your stuff. You have to have lights out stuff, not just to get through the second time in order, but also the third time in the order. But the Yankee youth tied up the ball game because we got home runs from Jason Dominguez and Anthony Volpe. Naylor makes a key error. I thought we were the ones that usually make errors on that. He was mimicking us on that top of the 5th inning. Throws the ball away. We end up with a 4-2 lead. Fernando Cruz looked really good. Yeah, rock the baby, right? Anytime we could give him shit, we're definitely gonna give him shit. Fernando Cruz came in and looked lights out. You know what I'm saying? Love the difference in between his fastball and his splitter, a good 15 mile per hour difference with some drops, ended up with 4 Ks. Will Warren ultimately ended up with 5 innings, 4 Ks, 1 run, get 1 hit, and 2 runs given up. He looked really good. Mark Leiter Jr., after coming in the previous 2 games, looked really good in those first 2 outings. Not so much this one. Tim Hill actually got him started with a double. Mark Leiter Jr. was a walk fest and ultimately gave up a grand slam. Yankees gave it up in the 8th, and you know, it was all downhill from there. Double-digit strikeouts in this game. I look back at this game realistically, like, you want to know my thoughts?
Yeah, I do.
Here's the biggest thing. If Devin Williams would have been available, it's a different structure for the bullpen because Luke Weaver's back, so everybody shifted up, right? So you could have went to Weaver for 2 innings because we saw tonight Weaver with a 4-out save. He hadn't pitched since opening day. But, you know, congratulations to Devin Williams, who was, you know, on paternity leave. Congratulations for him and, you know, the birth of his child, that type of stuff. But it definitely affected the Yankees early. And once again, Boone in the bullpen, man, like Boone with questionable decisions, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately, you know, this was the first time that Trent Grisham for Jason Dominguez switch came back to bite us, because when we're trailing in the 9th inning and we could really use Jason Dominguez bat, he's not in there. Because, you know, you switched from out again in the 6th inning. So it was definitely a tough one for Aaron Boone. And the Yankees, you know, it was a tough one for us to swallow with a 7-5 victory. Definitely gave us a lot of flashbacks to L's that we had last year. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts in that game. I feel like we definitely gave it away. We were going against a very good pitcher in Corbin Burns, who has a lot of success and very familiar with us. But we were able to get to him 4-2. The bullpen and Boone just couldn't hold on.
Yeah, man. I think, like, I understand Boone's decision. I understand why his thought process was to leave him in there, but sometimes you just gotta have a better feel for the game. Like, even though it's not a must win, I wouldn't say that it's only game 4, but it was a big one though, you know, especially for a guy like Will Warren, who pitched his ass off, by the way. Like kudos to him, man, because I'll be the first to say that I was not a big believer in him, but he's completely he's made me eat my words, put it that way. He pitched very good. I like Boone's decision to leave him in the game to face Corbin Carroll that second time. I think that was big for Will Warren, you know, so kudos to Boone for that. I just feel like we could have went a different route there, especially when you saw that he was struggling. He was struggling to find the strike zone. At one point, he threw a pitch to the backside, probably 20 feet away from the plate. I was like, yeah, it's probably time to take him out. And then he gave up the grand slam. You got the hottest hitter in the National League. The hottest hitter in the National League coming up, National League Player of the Week, coming up with the bases loaded. I mean, yeah, it's probably time to pull the trigger. You know, even I don't care who you go to. Let's get somebody else in there. The guy can't find the zone. But besides that, I like to Fernando Cruz. Fernando Cruz was lights out, dude, in that game. Like, he looked really, really good. So that was a big surprise for me. I know he has the stuff, but from his other outings that I've seen him, he kind of struggled a little bit. So that's good news there for the future. Yeah, besides that, man, I think I like the way the young guys played in that game. It seemed like the top of the lineup, 1 through 5, were kind of hitless pretty much. And the young guys pretty much, Volpe, Wells, Dominguez, Rice, Cabrera, they kind of carried that team towards the end. So it's a good game for the young guys to see them kind of carry the team for a second. Will Warren come up big and a huge start, but you know, we let that one slip through our hands pretty much.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We squandered an opportunity to keep the momentum going and beat a very good pitcher, you know, at home, because, you know, Corbin Burns is a guy, like I said, that has a lot of familiarity with this team. Same thing with Gallen that pitched in. All the Diamondbacks pitchers had a lot of familiarity and success against Yankee pitching. You know what I'm saying? But we were able to capitalize on a key error by Josh Naylor and just couldn't lock it down. Fernando Cruz, like you had said, looked really good. This dude had a 15 mile per hour difference. You know how hard that is? When a 15 mile per hour difference from your fastball, from your splitter, and your splitter has drop and it's coming from the exact same arm angle, that's virtually impossible to hit if you're not guessing correctly. He looked good, but, you know, Mark Leiter Jr. had some trouble. But, you know, this is 3 out of 4 outings where he's looked good. So to me, and I'm going to ask you the same thing when it comes to Mark Leiter Jr., do you think game 1 was more of a blip or more of a concern to things to come? Because we've seen 3 out of 4 good outings from him.
I mean, like it's still early, right? So I'm not gonna say that he's terrible yet. But we seen him come through last year, and we seen him have his mishaps too last year. So I just don't know what we're gonna get from Mark Leiter Jr. I just feel like in that situation, he already showed you that he just didn't have his stuff that day, you know. And the game's pretty much on the line. It's high leverage. It was time to move on. So I'm not saying don't ever put him in the game again. Obviously, he pitched today. He did good, but that situation, you gotta have a better feel for the game and know when to just pull the pitcher. He did a good job with Will Warren by leaving him in there, because he went in there to pull him out, and he gave him that extra at bat versus Corbin Carroll. But yeah, so I'm not gonna say I blame Boone or not. I just think that's kind of stuff that at the end of the season you look back at it and you say, man, you know, I wish we would have got that one. That's a game that we easily could have won. We should have won that game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about this in a little bit, but I gave Boone a lot of flowers the first series, but this one was a complete 180. There was a lot of decisions that was very questionable about Aaron Boone. This was one of them. The bullpen was one of them. And then the substituting for Jason Dominguez, like, dude, game 2, everybody had a bad game. You know what I'm saying? We had 16 strikeouts, but Jason Dominguez got multiple hits in both, you know what I'm saying, in game 1 and game 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point in time are you just going to say, and he actually played pretty decent defense in today's game. At what point in time you just got to leave him out there, man? And he's got to learn. He's got to take his lumps. Is he struggling from the right side? Yeah, there are times where he doesn't look like a right-handed hitter. And, you know, we'll talk about that towards the end too. But, you know, also with the Pablo Reyes stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got lefties. This Yankee lineup desperately needs a right-handed bat. And this series definitely proved it, because you bring in a lefty and you're facing 2 switch hitters that are really left-handed hitters and a bunch of lefties. The only 2 righties that we actually have are Judge and Volpe and Paul Goldschmidt whenever he plays. But, you know, it's to our detriment to when you throw in a lefty and he's going against Wells, who all of a sudden Wells is back, you know, towards the bottom of the order. Then he's switching around Jason Dominguez. Then he's going against Rice. Then he's going against, you know, Cabrera. That's basically facing against a lefty coming there and put us down. You know what I'm saying? So we desperately need a right-handed hitter. So
I mean, but we look, like, why not give Peraza more of a chance, right? So where was Peraza this whole series, especially that day? Why bring in Reyes?
This last
game? So it's certain things I'm not getting. Like, I get it, Pablo Reyes, you know, he balled out in spring, right? I get it. But I feel like Peraza, this is his chance. Like, you got to give him his shot. This is his last chance with the Yankees, you know? So give him his shot. He looked good versus the Brewers, right? He hit a big-time home run. So, but ever since then, we haven't seen him. We just haven't seen him. He plays great defense. The defense is never in question with Peraza, you know? But, so, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because, like, it just makes me feel like the second DJ LeMahieu comes back, that's his job, man. Like, if Cabrera starts struggling, the second there's a left.
Yeah. Oh, I think Ace is frozen. Yeah, I get the feeling too that the second DJ comes back, that's his job. But I guess I'm not gonna say he earned that right. He is a veteran, but he earns the right to at least have a chance. He's getting paid $15 million a year. But you can't count out the young guys either. I think Peraza deserves a better chance, personally. Let me text Ace. Yeah, I think Peraza definitely deserves a better chance. Boone needs to give him more burn. I hope he does. He looked good in the Ace is having technical difficulties, so pardon. He'll be back soon though. But yeah, Peraza looked good versus the Brewers, so why not give him a shot? You know, it's just a homegrown kid, came up with the Yankees, so I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. But bottom line, that game 1 versus the Diamondbacks, it's not the outcome I was hoping for. There was some good things. We've seen some good things by the young guys on the team carried us that day, especially versus a veteran pitcher like Corbin Burns. But overall, I think some blunders on some questionable moves were made, and I think it cost us. So that was game 1, right? Let's move on to game 2 while we wait for Ace to get back. So game 2. Game 2. Yeah, nope, that's the wrong game right there. Oh, let me find game 2. But yeah, game 2, man. Pretty much, the Yankees, they didn't have it. Hold up, let me pull up game 2 real quick. Wednesday, be back. Oh yeah, game 2 is Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon, like he started off shaky, gave up a 2-run bomb in the first inning, and it from there on, like we know this. We've read this book before. We've seen this movie. When he gives up runs early, it looks like his confidence breaks and he struggles out there from previous experience with Rodon. But I wouldn't say it was a terrible start from him, because it wasn't. It wasn't his greatest, but he managed to find a way to stay in there. He managed to find a way to give the Yankees some innings, where in the past he gets roughed up early and he's gone, and it just all falls apart. He found a way to gather himself and give the Yankees 6 innings. Hey, yeah, man. I was wondering what happened. I'm trying to figure it all out.
Good. Sometimes around this time of night, my internet goes through the maintenance updates.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what's happening. So it kicked me out of it. So, yeah, thank you for holding it down, man. Appreciate you. The audio stuff, you guys know, man, we got to roll with the punches over here on live. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, finish saying what you were saying.
No, so I'm going through game 2 right now. So it was Zach Gallen versus Carlos Rodon. What do you think about Carlos Rodon's outing?
Realistically, man, like, I get that. I'm on the fence about it, right? Because I fully understand that this dude ended up, ultimately had a rough 2 innings, right? But you got to go out there and set the tone for us, man, realistically. Because, like, you're getting paid like an ace at this point, right? So he has to go out there and he has to perform like one. He can't just go out there. He just didn't look like he really had it, realistically. So was he able to ultimately give us 6? Yeah, and that was great. And, Yoendris Gomez was able to hold down the rest to kind of save our bullpen. But he's got to go out there and set the tone, man, especially coming off a loss, man, because you're getting paid like an ace. So you going out there and giving up 4 runs immediately, and you could tell the bats weren't really, clicking. So immediately it felt like we were out of it from jump.
Yeah, man. I think I hear you and I agree with you, right? But on the positive side, like last year, if he would have gave up that home run in the first like that, those 4 runs early, he would have fell apart. There's no way he would have gave you 6 innings, So that's I'm trying to be optimistic. So that looks good that at least he found a way to gather himself and stay in the game and give you 6 innings. But you're right though, man. You're getting paid a lot of money. You're getting paid to be an ace. Yeah, you were the 1B, behind Garrett Cole, but Garrett Cole's gone. Max Fried, yeah, he is the ace, but he just got to the team. You've been here a couple years now. It's time to put up a shut up, for him. And that was the whole game, because those 4 runs he gave up, that was all they scored that game. So
yeah. On top of 16 strikeouts, which ended up being 30 in 2 games, dude, that's 10 innings worth of strikeouts, man. At one point in time, we had a whole ball game. We had a 10-inning game worth of Ks in 2 games. Now, I fully understand we went against 2 good pitchers, and hats off to Gallen, because he was getting, sometimes you just got to tip your hat to the other pitcher. He was getting anything that he wanted at the end of the day. So, that knuckle curveball, they couldn't do anything against it. They were all over the place. And it was everybody. It wasn't just one person. It was everybody. And then, Anthony Volpe tacked on a 3-run home run as, a little bit of window dressing to kind of make it look nice. But realistically, we played like shit. You know what I'm saying? We had our opportunities late in the game. Kudos to the team for not giving up. But, Anthony Volpe, realistically, the game felt like it was a lot worse than what it really was.
Yeah, it did, honestly. But at least at the end, we had a chance. We were in there, we were in there. But You're right, man. That was a terrible offensive performance by the Yankees. I don't care who's pitching, man. You striking out, 16 times in the game or whatever it was, 13 by Zach Gallen. Like, man, come on, dude. This guy isn't Randy Johnson, man. And that's not a knock against Zach Gallen. I understand he's a good pitcher, right? But at the same time, it's like, man, I feel like the Yankees struggle with pitchers like that. You notice that pitchers who have good breaking stuff, for some reason the Yankees struggle to hit the breaking ball like that. So hopefully they figure that out. And what's up with Volpe, man? With the wall scrapers, man, barely making it out, but they're getting there though.
The Volpedo is what they're talking about, man. It's the Volpedo bats. That shit is barely getting out. It's paying a difference. He finally got his first, non-home run hit today in today's ball game. But yeah, I mean, it came a little bit too late, man. A little too late, in game 2. I'm saying it was unfortunate, but final thoughts on game 2 before we go to game 3.
Game 2, no errors. That's a plus in my book. No errors given up by the Yankees. So that's good.
Yeah. So game 3 tonight, Yankees end up salvaging. I don't have my notes on me because I'm on my phone now because internet be acting up. But game 3, Yankees the bats came alive today. You know what I'm saying? We had another grand slam given up towards the end of this game, but Aaron Judge got us started with a 3-run home run, right out the gate. Jazz with a big blast. You know what I'm saying? I was calling for it. Jazz just missed one earlier where he fouled one down the line. And then I'm like, Jazz, you got to straighten that shit out, man. And sure enough, on the very next pitch, he takes it deep. So Jazz was doing his thing today. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, another grand slam given up. Aaron Boone kept Yarbrough in way too long. The thing with Aaron Boone, and it comes down to the thing with Aaron Boone in the bullpen that always irritates me, right, is he tries to steal outs, right? You can clearly see, like you were talking about earlier, sometimes you got to read the game and not the analytics. Yarbrough didn't have it. Walk, and a hit. And then all of a sudden you try to steal outs while you're going against Perdomo, the right-handed hitter, because you got 2 lefties next, and the right-handed hitter takes you deep. That was a situation that you should have immediately went to Mark Leiter Jr., in my opinion. And Mark Leiter Jr. came in to end up holding it down. This game was a lot closer than what it should have been, but Luke Weaver came in and shut it down, and Yankees end up salvaging the win, and we're 4-2.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like I was saying about game 1 with Mark Leiter Jr., right? It's not him, right? It's just sometimes you don't have it that day, and your job as the manager is to realize that, like, this guy just doesn't have it today. It happens, man. There's days that you just, I don't know, they don't have a feel for, especially when it's cold, like it was in New York. But yeah, I think he left them in one batter too long, and it almost cost us the game, almost. I mean, I'm not saying cost, but it put him back in the game, because before that it was pretty much a blowout. I want to talk about Cookie Carrasco though. What about his outing, man? What you think?
Yeah, got the dub. Looked a hell of a lot better. Looked a hell of a lot better from when he came on, out of the bullpen. Yeah, definitely looked a hell of a lot better. Gave us a solid outing. Exactly what we needed, because the last thing that we needed, right, if Carrasco had an off night, because Boone had burned through the bullpen, in this series, especially in game 1. Game 2, Rodon and Andrés were able to hold it down, so everybody was kind of available tonight. But it's just one of those things where you don't want to, we're about to hit the road for the first time. You don't want to burn through the bullpen,
Yeah, definitely, man. But we had he finally brung in Weaver and let him get the 4 outs. Weaver hadn't pitched since like opening day or something like that, so he's well rested. Even for game 1, they were well rested. Yeah, I agree with you with burning the bullpen. Sometimes I think he mismanages it a little bit. And I understand it's tough because you gotta look ahead too, right? But sometimes you gotta have just know that, hey, this guy isn't feeling it, and tomorrow's tomorrow, today's today. Let's get this game and worry about tomorrow. So, but overall, man, it was a great game. Judge is doing Judge things, man. Judge is off to a hot start, man. Hot, bro.
Bro, that's an understatement. This man is on another planet, and then they got the nerve to MLB put out some shit either yesterday or today that was like Judge the fourth best player in the game. I'm like, on what sport? On what sport?
I know, like, right?
You got Otani. They say Otani. They said Bobby Witt Jr. and Mookie Betts are better than Aaron Judge, and I'm looking at that shit like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I feel like they don't give Judge the respect that he deserves, man. Let me tell you, when this man is on, he is on fire. He's Barry Bond, like, like where they don't even pitch to him at all. And the other day, he had like 3 walks, right? Or something like that. Like sometimes they just stop pitching to him, especially if the guy behind him isn't doing so well. But Josh Chisholm's been doing okay lately. To be honest, the offense has surprised me. I didn't expect it to be I'm not gonna say it's great, but I didn't expect it to be this good early, especially the power. The power is there. You got guys like Volpe with 4 home runs. Grisham got a couple, I think. Ben Rice is looking phenomenal out there, hitting the ball very hard. So I'm excited about these young kids, man. Escara got his first hit, his first big league hit today. So shout out to you, man. Congratulations.
Yep. Yeah, I love that story. Norma asked me, because she knows I'm a former catcher, how did he look behind the plate? He looked straight. He looked fine. You know what I'm saying? He nothing that really stood out. Didn't really get a chance to. Josh Naylor stole third on him, but that was more on the pitcher though, because that was just a terrible ass jump. Terrible. No, that was a great jump, but a terrible ass holding him back at the base. But ultimately, he looked okay. He's our backup guy. Got a nice little hit that I was hoping was going to spark a rally to get us some insurance runs, but Oswaldo Cabrera couldn't really come through. But ultimately the offense, did enough to get things going today. And despite Boone's best efforts, this motherfucker was really trying to, blow the game, is what it felt like, by leaving Yarborough out there and stealing some outs. You know what I'm saying? But move on to, next series. I'm glad we were able to at least salvage one win, because you and I both know how the Yankees are, and we would have got swept. Oof. It would have been tough out here, man.
Yeah, not only that, you don't want to go on your first road trip on the L, Mm-hmm. Especially at the way they started. It felt like they started so high. Even in the first game in this series, they were like, that train was moving. And I feel like that grand slam kind of sucked the life out of the team, It's like, okay, it brought him back down to earth, if you know what I mean. Like, all right, remember, it's 162 games, man. We're not gonna go 162-0, but I mean, it brought him back down to earth. Like, hey, man, there's other teams out here. You're not the only one that can hit home runs, hit grand slams, and some of these teams are good, man. And you're gonna face good pitching. I think the key in the first series with the Brewers is that they didn't really face really good pitching like that. They didn't face good pitching at all. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they, especially the young guys, the young core on this team, how they make the adjustment to major league pitchers, man, to real major league pitchers.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe to my boy Jason, man, holding it down, man. I'm getting some internet problems right now, and he was holding it down. I greatly appreciate you. Hey, what a way to remember your first time on my channel. He's like, man, this guy can't even put in a proper stream out here.
No, but man, that's just part of the process. That's how it always do. You see mine sometimes. It never goes as planned, right? That's the whole thing. But we adjust fire and we move forward.
Yeah, like I try to hop on my phone mad quick. Like I said, I know my internet like at least once a week, and this is why, like, if ever I decide to do a 24-hour live stream, I'd have to have my phone on standby. At least once a week, my internet goes to like some maintenance shit where it's down for like an hour. I'm just like, bro, like this couldn't have come at a worse. It could have came at a worse time during the game, because I wouldn't have been able to call no game from the phone. I would have just had to call it. So. Yeah. But nah, I appreciate you for holding it down, man. But yeah, Yankees take their first loss of their first series loss of the season. Look, this is something that we haven't talked about. Arizona is a decent team. They got a decent pitching staff. I think that they are going to be a dark horse team to kind of make a run. They led the league in runs scored last year. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat, man. Good pitching will get you sometimes. But, we're going to have to hang in there and stop striking out so much and get ourselves a right-handed bat.
Yeah, it's getting to the point we need a right-handed bat. I want to correct myself. Peraza did come in as a defensive substitution
Tonight.
in today's game.
Today's game.
He did play, but he didn't see the batter's box at all. So.
No, he didn't. Which kind of, and that's another thing, man. Like, it kind of tells you what the Yankees and how they feel about Peraza, right? Because why aren't you giving this kid a shot? Pablo Reyes is old, right? He's an older dude. We kind of know what he is. You still kind of don't know what Peraza is at the end of the day. And the last time that we saw him, Peraza hit a home run, and Reyes looked like shit, but he's not getting the opportunity. So it makes me think that when DJ LeMahieu comes back, if they can't get rid of, they'll probably send Reyes down for a little bit because he's got some options. But then you get rid of until you get rid of Peraza. You know what I'm saying? Now my internet's starting to come back on, so they'll probably come back on and then cut right back off. So if it does, I'll switch back over to my phone. But yeah, man.
And he's gonna start playing some live games soon. Yeah, he'll be up here. He's definitely gonna see the field. And look, I love DJ. I want him to succeed, but it just hasn't been there. And I think I get it, like if the Yankees are not high on Peraza, but if you compare him to Pablo Reyes, right? I think Peraza's ceiling is way higher than Reyes. So why not give him a chance, especially after that home run in his first at bat, was it, or his second at bat of the series of the season? Like, give the kid a chance, man. Give him a chance, and if he blows it, then okay, But I mean, a steady chance, like not just one at bat here and there. Like, give him a good 2 weeks of playing solid, playing at least the majority of innings at third base, and see what he can do. And if he can't step up, then hey, you had your chance. We'll move on.
Yeah,
but
I'm right there with you. You got to see what he has, man. You can't just assume, like, I don't know, man. I mean, I've been on a boat too where Peraza's had every opportunity and he's kind of squandered it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because all you had to do realistically was tie Volpe, right? And he ended up losing the job out to Volpe. But that doesn't mean that you don't give the kid another shot.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but he's still young, And right now we're looking for a right-handed bat that could play third base, that's good on defense. Because Pablo Reyes, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to see this guy on third base. I don't want to see him throwing the ball. He's not looking good out there. So let's see what we got. And if all else for at least build him up for some trade value or something, But I think the Yankees have squandered his value. 2 years ago, he was highly touted. You could have got a good piece for him if you traded him. That's just my opinion, man. I feel like they should give him a week or two. What do you got to lose? Really, if this is his last chance, if he doesn't do good, then hey, you move on. But you're never gonna know. You can't see what somebody's got by playing him once a week. One at bat a week. That's not gonna do it. So,
yeah, I agree. You know what I'm saying? But it just really does feel like one of those things where Peraza goes somewhere else, he might succeed. You know what I'm saying? Because we just can't unlock him. That's the problem with the Yankees. They just can't, develop talent. You know what I'm saying? This kid, Gold Glove, it seems like he's an all-world glove, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? He makes great plays over there at third base. But then I just don't think there's a spot for him. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize you got Jazz Chisholm, who's still young. I'm all for extending him. He's not going to cost that much. Maybe $20-something million a year. That's not shit. Anthony Volpe, Gold Glove shortstop. You know what I'm saying? Hitting home runs this year. If he has a good year this year, could be the guy. You know what I'm saying? Could be the shortstop for the future if we extend them quick. You know what I'm saying? Then you got guys like George Lombard Jr. coming up. There just might not be a spot for a guy like Peraza.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But you got to build up his value because maybe you can move him. Maybe there's somebody else, or just DFA him. He'd be like, he reminds me of Esteban Florial. Somebody who was highly, top prospect. Highly sought after in the trade markets and stuff. And the Yankees like, no, they're not gonna trade him. Like he was like untouchable for a while, and then he just didn't pan out. He's a quadruple A player, So I mean, it's unfortunate, but I still give him a shot. If I was the manager, I'd give him a chance and be like, look, this is it, kid. You know, here's your chance.
Yeah, I feel you, man. But coming off this, coming off the hype of all the torpedo bats and shit like that, man, it's very fitting the Yankees lose 2 games to kind of quiet down that hype, because a lot of I'm not the person that created this, but it just goes to show you it's not the wand, it's the magician. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, so the Yankees struggled in 2 games. We saw in these first 6 games we've seen good Yankees, and we've seen. Say it again.
No, I was trying to show. Man, I got a tip. They selling this stuff already. The torpedo bats are on the market. I got a text from Rawlings.
You
preferred torpedo? No, I'm not gonna get. Dude, I don't play baseball no more.
Your son does though, right?
Yeah, he does, but that ain't gonna make you a better hitter, man.
And go out there, it might, if he keeps hitting that sweet spot of the bat. Look at Volpe. That dude is popping up everything out the park.
Yeah, man. But Volpe, man, he's hitting some that are just barely scraping the wall, man. It's like,
it don't matter, bro, as long as it gets out.
No, exactly, yeah.
So, and that's what people say. People complain about the Yankees' dimensions and stuff like that. They're just like, oh, it's not a real ballpark. Now we're using these bats. Hey, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's hitting them. But who's not barely scraping them? That man, Aaron Judge. That dude is not leaving no doubt about it. He's crushing those shits.
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely. But what do you think about Dominguez as a righty? And righty. You think he's a lefty? You think they need to just take away the switch hitter status and say, look, you just ban lefty? Cabrera too. Oswaldo Cabrera too is in that same boat to me, where they might be better off just banning lefty.
Here's the thing, right? Waldo has batted against lefties left-handed. Jason Dominguez hasn't, so we haven't seen it. But you could just tell from how he looks, he doesn't look like a right-handed hitter. He's out in front of everything. He's missing at everything. I don't understand how his plate discipline is so much better from the left side. Obviously, it's the experience. You face, 90% of the guys you face are going to be right-handed hitters, right?
Exactly.
So it's the experience that you get from it. You don't face a lot of lefties, especially at the lower levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not facing them consistent enough for you to be good at it. I think he looks more like a lefty, to be honest with you. And yeah, because he just looks bad from the right side. Him and Waldo too, But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It might have to. I didn't Cedric Mullins. He used to be a switch hitter, and he's just like, you know what? Like, this righty thing is just not working, man. Just stay on the left side.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to count it out because they are so young, man. These guys are, in terms of like baseball player wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of years left, but at some point, man, you got to look at it like, hey, man, the numbers are clearly saying, the analytics is saying, look, from the left side, you're above average Major League Baseball player. From the right side, you're a AA player, So and I've always felt like, I think the lefty matchups and all that stuff, there's something to it, but I don't think it's as big as people think. It's the same thing. Like, because if that was the case, why righties hit righties a little bit better than lefties on lefties? It should be the same. When you really think about it,
Well, I think I chalk it up to the experience. I definitely chalk it up to experience because you face more righties. You know what I'm saying? But righties can hit righties. The thing is, when you're a lefty going against a lefty, you got to watch out for that sweeper. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't see it a lot. Look for that ball that's down and in, and you can punish that shit. You know what I'm saying? It can be done because, like I said, Cedric Mullins, we've seen examples where it could be done, but Dominguez just does not look like a right-handed hitter to me. He really does not. Now, oddly enough, Oswaldo Cabrera is 2 for 3, from the right side this year. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very small sample size, but we've also seen him struggle from there. And if the Yankees have questionable, it looks good on paper that we got 2 switch hitters, but it's not translating well to the field. And ultimately, we might have to be in search of a right-handed bat. It's as simple as that.
I think they low key behind the scenes, they're in search for a right-handed bat right now.
Probably.
But who's out there? I'm not sure. Maybe towards as the season progresses, more players will be available. As teams figure.
Did you say Torres?
No, I said as the season progresses.
Oh, I thought you said Torres. I was going to say who?
No,
I'm good.
I didn't say that, man. I said as the season progresses, and teams figure out like, okay, like yeah, realistically we have no shot, you know, and start moving. Some people are gonna become available, you know. So we just we gotta find a way to get W's, man. With our team, with what we have now, we gotta find a way. And then when somebody comes on the board, when somebody's available, and Cashman could do his Cashman things, man, and get somebody. But I agree with you. What you said, it's kind of looking like they're reserving that spot for DJ when he gets back. And the big right-handed bat that's coming is gonna be Giancarlo Stanton, you know. And that's unfortunate because we as fans, man, we expect them to make moves. We want to see we see the Dodgers doing all this stuff and getting all these players, but I feel like that's the big move you're gonna get. It's people coming off the IL.
Luis Hill, Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu. Oh gosh. Like I said, it's the position's prime for DJ LeMahieu to legit come back in. Aaron Boone loves him. Aaron Judge goes to bat for him. Third base, he could, they're gonna like it. They still think they can get something out of him, and it's just, it's just crazy, man. Nah, D-Rod, Jason Dominguez should be a lefty in my opinion. He's a switch hitter, but
he's a right-hand thrower. He bats as a switch hitter.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of Jason Dominguez, all right, let's go ahead and go to the next segment before we wrap this up, right? And like I said, I do appreciate you guys for your patience. You guys know the internet be internet sometimes. What's it called? Jason Dominguez, I'm gonna have as my standout, my series standout, because like game 2, nobody hit. Everybody had strikeout. The only person that didn't strike out in game 2 was Austin Wells. Let's put it like that. And then Pablo Reyes, when he came in and flew out, but that doesn't really count. But Jason Dominguez, man, homered in game 1. Had a couple good hits to the left side in today's game. Played some solid defense. There were a couple plays, man, in the field, especially where he kind of got turned around, still made the play, looked pretty good out there. You know what I'm saying? The best defense is when you're kind of quiet out there. But yeah, Jason Dominguez I'm gonna have to give it to him as my series standout, man. What about you? Do you have a series standout?
I hate picking starting pitchers for like series standouts, but I'm gonna do it this time, and I'm gonna give it to Will Warren.
Okay,
give it to him because let me tell you something, man. I was not a believer in this kid. I had him in every mock trade during the off season. I was trying to get rid of him. I'm trying to put him on the first thing, smoking out of here. He's proved me wrong, man. The kid, he looks good, man. Pause. He looks like he whatever adjustments he had to made to figure out this the major leagues, he's done it. I like the way he bounced back when Corbin Carroll hit that 2-run bomb off of him. He didn't get rattled, he kind of gathered himself and figured it out and went back and faced him again and made the adjustment to get him out. So that's key to me. He didn't face him again. It's like, oh, they figured him out. Third time through the order, he made the adjustments so that it doesn't happen again, So yeah. I like that, man. And the reason too I give it to him is because the rotation needs him right now. We need him to step up big time. Rodon is our I'm not gonna say ace. He's the 1B right now behind Freed, but with him, it's so shaky, man. Like this rotation could fall apart like this, the way it is right now.
Oh, it feels like it's hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, it's hanging on by a thread. But hopefully he could step up. Hopefully he could give us what Luis Hill gave us last year when Cole got hurt, and just be that guy to step up. So I give it to Will Warren. Good job, Will Warren.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I give mine to Jason Dominguez, Will Warren. Volpe could have been one of them too, but I just feel like Jason Dominguez deserves some flowers from this situation. But yeah, we were able to salvage one win, and now we're looking to hit the road. A weird ass start time tomorrow. 4:12 start time is very peculiar to me. Like, I get it if it's 4-10, but it seems like they want to get those extra 2 minutes in. So that shit is crazy. So we're going against the Pittsburgh Pirates. What are your thoughts on this upcoming series? And I don't even know if we're facing Paul Skeens this time. I haven't looked to see who they're throwing out there yet.
I don't think so, because I believe he pitched yesterday. So
okay, so we're not going against Skeens this time then.
Yeah, we're just missing him. But so tomorrow we have Max Fried on the bump. All right, versus I don't even know who that is, Keller. You know, I think this should be, it shouldn't be a tough series. It shouldn't be a tough series. Their best pitcher is Max Fried. We're not gonna face him. So I think, what was that?
No, go ahead. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think this is a series that we should win. Would it sweep maybe, but 2 out of 3 at least. 2 out of 3. It's not come on, it's the Pirates. I don't fear them. They're 2-5 right now. There's no way we lose in this series.
Yeah, I agree. I like a sweep, but realistically, it's hard to sweep teams in the MLB. 2 out of 3 seems very reasonable. Just got to get the bats going, man. We can't have, a double-digit strikeout performance where, we can't hit with runners in scoring position. You know what I'm saying? Because like we talked about, before, situational hitting is key, man. Like the Yankees, we see, you can't just rely on the home runs, man. You have to manufacture runs and moving guys from first to third. You know what I'm saying? Too many playing some small ball, which Aaron Boone is like allergic to fucking small ball, man. Like I say that shit all the time. Like me personally, man, if you got runners on first and second, nobody out, and you have the 9-hole hitter up, why not bunt when the top of the order is coming on deck?
I'll tell you why, because chicks dig the long ball.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, chicks also like winning. That's not winning baseball for you to just think that you could just hit your way, homer your way to a championship.
Yeah, I agree with you though, man. That's the one thing with Volpe, right? Yeah, he's putting up some power numbers right now, but if you look at the average, like I want his on base percentage to be up there. Like, I get it. The home runs are nice. Yeah, it's cute, whatever. But dude, batting 188. I know it's still early. That's not good. That's not good, man.
Yeah,
a lot of those home runs, those are fly balls in a lot of major league parks. So let's try to get the OBP up, man.
Yeah,
he's so fast, man. He can steal, man. Get the steals up.
Yeah, close off that stance a little bit, man. Hit the ball to right field on the line drive, man. Anything goes in the corner. You might be able to turn that shit to a triple. Yeah. So. But yeah, man. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, man. I do appreciate you for coming on, man. Thank you for saving the stream as well. I definitely got to bring you back on when the internet ain't on that fuck shit, man. I know you do your overnight stuff. Make sure you guys check out my boy Jason. He does good work over there on his channel. Does the overnight. If you find yourself that you can't get any Z's, stuff like that, just pop over his channel. I guarantee you he's up.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, man, I'm up, but barely. I'm barely up, man.
Yeah, you popping on the stream tonight?
Probably not, man. I've been working on I show you some stuff I've been working on, and I got some homework too that I got to do. That's why I have kind of been off the last couple of days.
Yeah.
As a person, if I don't, I got to get it done first, because if not, I'm just not gonna do it. And yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But definitely. What's tomorrow? Friday. Tomorrow I'll be on, because next day I don't have work. That's the problem too. When I do these overnight shows, I work early in the morning, so it's tough for me. It's really tough, man.
Yeah, but you do the damn thing, man. You do a good job over there, man. I appreciate you for popping on, and I appreciate everybody for their patience with this, man. Like I said, internet is going through the maintenance shit right now. Guarantee you, as soon as we log off, that shit pops back on. I already know how that shit works. So
exactly, that's how it is, man. That's the Mets fans right there, man.
Who?
The Met fans, man. They
yeah, man.
I just play, man.
Yeah, man. Either that or the Red Sox fans. I've been getting a lot of Red Sox fans in the chat the last couple of days too. So, and I actually ran into 2 Houston Astro fans today too, and they were trying to talk shit about the bats. Like, oh, that shit's cheating. I'm like, y'all got the nerve to talk about cheating? Okay.
Yeah. Can we talk about that one real quick before we go?
Go ahead.
As I do my read, those bats been in the league for like 2 years now. A lot of people use them, so it's not just a Yankee thing.
So what are your thoughts on it though? I mean, I got a little bit of your thoughts on it, during your stream, but yeah, what are your overall thoughts on it?
On the bat, I mean, it fits within the guidelines that Major League Baseball put out there, so why not? Everything else, man, these guys are looking for an edge, and if it gives them an edge, then so be it. The only thing that like thinking about is they're trying to say that Giancarlo Stanton is blaming his tennis elbow on the bat. You know, they say.
Well, he said nah. He came out and said no.
Okay,
Yeah, he came out.
Say
and said
he made a bat adjustment, and that's what messed up his elbows.
no.
So I don't know. Some players like it, some players don't. I think it's a superstition thing. I think if you use a certain bat and you have a good game, it's like you don't put that bat down. You know, that's just how baseball is. But
Yeah,
I think it's kind of
man.
it's like a placebo. It's a placebo effect, man. The placebo effect.
It's not. I wouldn't say superstition, man. It's tradition, man. Like I was telling my nephew the other day because he was like, he don't understand. I was like, bro, when I played, I left my good batting gloves at home one day, and I was a dude that like never really struck out, right? And my teammates were always like, "Yo, dude, do you ever strike out?" I'm like, "Nah." Sure enough, struck out twice when I left my batting gloves. When I dropped my batting gloves out my bag, and I was like, "I'm never forgetting these shits again." That shit matters to players, man.
Oh, it does, man. It definitely mattered to me, man. If I like chewed a certain gum and hit a home run, I had to always
That's your gum.
Yeah, if not, I felt like I was missing my superpower or something. Like, you know, that's what it was.
Yeah, we creatures of habit. That's what it comes down to, and so are they. You know what I'm saying? You remember back in the day when they were talking about Jason Giambi and Derek Jeter used to wear thongs or whatever? That type of shit?
Yeah, the gold thong.
Oh my gosh, imagine.
I don't go that far, man.
Nah, me neither. For what?
Yeah, no. I wanted to tell you, man, by the way, the intro is fire, dude. The intro
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. That's my guy, Will Young, man, one of the local artists around this area. I got to work with him a couple times when I used to do music, man. He was gracious enough to allow me to use that. I got another song from his that whenever I decide to do a Yankee morning talk show is up next. I put the stuff together myself on the intro. But it's the music by him, man. And I appreciate that, man. Andrew, thanks for popping in, man. Says, yo, Ace, good win for your Yankees tonight. He's a Dodgers fan, man, but he always pops in the streams and shows Yankees some love, man. But Andrew, make sure you go subscribe to my guy Jason. That's pinned in the comment section, man. He does great work over there.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I got a lot of Dodger fans too that pop in.
Yeah, don't wash your jersey after your first win. Yeah, and I was always a high sock type guy, man. I couldn't wear the long baseball pants. I always had to go high socks.
Yeah, no, I never did the high socks, but I don't know. Like, I was just superstitious, man. Like, if anything, it could have been anything. I was that kind of person, man. Like, if I spit twice before I got in the batter's box and got a hit, I was doing that till it didn't work anymore. You know? Yeah,
these kids nowadays. My nephew played. You saw Jazz today. Jazz rocking all that jewelry, and that shit flew off. One of his chains flew off today, and they were talking about that shit. But my nephew was the same way. If you look good, you know, you feel good, you play good. That's how they feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but look, man, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream, man. I do appreciate you for coming on, man. Would definitely love to have you back on. You know, anytime that you want to come on, you know what I'm saying? Just let me know. This is episode 2. Andrew said he just subscribed to you, so I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Man. Dude does good work over there. This is episode 2 down. Like I said, once again, I appreciate you guys for your patience. You guys know stuff happens on the technical end. We'll try to get it right next time. When Sunday is my next episode, I got Erica dropping on as well. I will be live tomorrow, around 4:10 for game number 1 of the Pittsburgh series. What you got going on, man? Tell the people what you got going on.
Well, tomorrow I'm gonna be on tomorrow night, probably like 10 p.m. Eastern, and I'll probably do a long stream. Besides that, I've been trying to get more of a set schedule, but it's been tough because of work, and I'm going to school right now. But as soon as my classes end, which is soon, I gotta focus on that, knock that out, priorities. Then I'll be able to do the same overnight show like I was doing it before, 3 days a week, kind of from 9 to midnight ish, something like that, or however long the stream goes. But yeah, and I got some stuff where I'm working on some stuff, some interactive stuff for the chats and everything. I think I showed you a little bit. I'm working on some cool stuff.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see you unfold it, man. You do a lot of great work behind the scenes, man. Like, everybody should make sure you sub up. My guy's on the road to 5K, so, show him some love. You know what I mean?
Yep, definitely.
All right, dude. Well, thank you for popping on, man. I'm going to text you after this, man. Appreciate you once again, man. Everybody, make sure you guys have a good night, and I'm going to see you tomorrow for the New York Yankees. As always, thank you for tuning into the Ace Avenue. I'm yours truly, the Ace, my guy, Jason Custodio. Adios.
Peace.